I'd like to call the Brimfield Township Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Okay, could please have a roll call?
Bruce Diffenberg.
Here.
Scott Etling.
Here.
Vince Bardacco.
Here.
Ed Schutte.
Here.
Sean Phillips. William Kramer. Clayton Popick. Clayton,
Here.
you will be a voting member tonight. Also present is Economic Development Director and Zoning Inspector Mike Ladd, and myself, Lauren Kaufman, Zoning Secretary.
Okay, thank you. All right, we do have an agenda. Everything's been advertised and ready, all up to snuff and legal.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion about our agenda.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Roll call, please.
Bruce Diffenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bardacco.
Yes.
Ed Schutte.
Yes.
Clayton Popick.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to swear in all the applicants who are going to be speaking this evening. So if you're going to be speaking this evening, please stand up. I'll just read through it, and at the end, we'll just take turns. Give us your name and which of the applications you're here for and whether or not you do. Okay, so do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you'll give before this board is to the best of your knowledge an accurate, truthful presentation of the facts? We'll start over here. Okay.
I do.
Need your
Evidence, ours is the fence on our highway.
Okay.
Megan Evans, Benson.
I do, 2302 Berkshire Lane deck.
Okay.
Very cute. The budget was here.
Bobby Johnston, Copper Creek.
Joe Rick, Senator Road.
All right.
Residents.
Okay. And there's no old business, I guess it's kind of half old business, right? So we do have minutes from September. Do we have a motion regarding our minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes from September.
Second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes from September. Roll call, please.
Bruce Diffenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bardacco.
Yes.
Ed Schutte.
Yes.
Clayton Popick.
Abstain.
All righty. So our first application, as was mentioned a little earlier, is for General Dynamics. They were in last month. It's a-
Hi, he's announcing your application
This
now, so I'm
information
just going to
is,
get on the phone in a second.
The applicant is requesting a conditional use approval to update a wireless telecommunication service facility. They would like to install a generator. Hello?
You got a phone?
Hello?
Maybe get closer.
Volume's up.
Can you hear us on the phone?
Well, there you are. Sorry, mine went on mute.
Oh, got it. All righty.
Good afternoon or good evening.
Good evening. Okay,
This is
go ahead.
Elena Wright Fox with General Dynamics.
Okay. And there was just some misunderstanding about the applicant last month?
Yeah, we're not upgrading an existing, we're installing a brand new generator on a 4-foot by 10-foot concrete pad.
It's still going to fit within the primary area, the fenced-in area where the tower is?
Yes,
And the pad isn't out there already, correct?
correct.
Look, it's on equipment plan E2, it looks like. Let's see if it's like that on that.
Yep.
Okay. So this generator won't interfere with any of the neighbors or any of the surrounding area?
No, it should not.
Okay. So this is just a backup when the power goes down, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
They just didn't have one before? They never, I mean, obviously they didn't have one, but there was just no reason for one?
No, this This is just an emergency backup. If we lose power at the site, these generators will kick on to keep cell phone service for the coverage of that area.
Okay.
Is this gonna be a propane generator, or you just see there's a propane tank on the property?
No, this is a 30 kilowatt diesel generator.
Okay. Okay. So you'll have to be putting in fuel containment as well, or it's already there?
Yes, a fuel tank will be put in, but that will be done by a different division of us. One of our specialists will be probably applying for a zoning as well, but their zoning requirements are completely different than mine. Mine is just strictly for the generator installation, the
Okay,
concrete pad and the generator. The tanks will be done completely separate.
got it, okay. Do we have any input from,
Because of their,
go ahead.
because of the environmental surrounding of the generator, or the fuel tank.
Right, okay. Does zoning have anything regarding this?
No, we don't have an issue with it.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? Okay. There being no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the installation of a new generator, because this doesn't amend this, the other one's gone, right?
The other
Yeah,
application,
it's gone.
this supersedes it, yeah.
Okay, so I make a motion that we accept the installation of a new generator on the existing site.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to allow them to install the new generator, and I guess concrete pad. The roll call vote, please.
Bruce Diffenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bradacco,
Yes.
Ed Shooty,
Yes.
Clayton Poppett.
Yes.
All righty, I think we should be good now.
Great, thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Good work.
I did,
Thanks.
I did hang up.
All right. Our next is a conditional use application, Bobby Johnson, Man Parson Gray Architects. It's a conditional use request. Applicant is requesting a conditional use approval to construct an additional garage on the property for zoning resolution section 30602E. Oh, that would be fine right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the paper here.
Yep.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Bobby Johnson with MPG Architects. Here to present garage number 5. Correct? Four's good, Mike?
Sure.
Okay. So garage 4 is yellow. Pink is garage 5. And then we have 3 existing garages already, and then this has not been done, but these buildings are all there. You can see it. 77, here you can see it as you drive up. And then 43 over here. So garages are exactly the same as what's existing. We're just, the yellow garage, it's already approved, but it's gonna be an accessible garage. And then the pink garage is just gonna be standard. And I guess when I say accessible, it's gonna have 2 accessible spaces, and the pink is gonna be all standard garage, like the previous other 2.
These were previously approved, expired. There's a letter of N here from back in 2017, so obviously.
So this plan that was sent in 2017, we have submitted updated civil drawings, which you should have in your packet. So showing existing conditions, we're going to be basically replacing parking spaces as is. Right now it's just a line of parking down there. So this is actually going to break up that line. This is an updated site plan you guys don't have based upon comments from the fire department. So we do have signage now. It's going to be no parking in front of the actual garages, as far as I know. So that's the difference between this plan and what we have.
Additional garage 5 forward.
And they're going on existing impervious surface, so water
Yes.
runoff won't be an issue.
We'll all be taking, tied into the system. So there is some grade there, so it's not just a straight shot. These are gonna have some steps in it, but they are garages.
They all match, they're all identical to the,
Yes, yep,
Okay, there.
yep. They're gonna, yes. Tucked in between the existing buildings.
is it powered with this?
Yes, there'll be power to garage doors and overhead.
I meant lighting. that's
And
right.
lights, and then so in plan, there's gonna be a light here that shines, and then a light right here that shines, but, yeah, it's all taken care of, part of the existing.
Would it all be down and not
That's
out
correct.
towards the highway? Or-
Correct. That's really it.
So it'll be what, a total of 18 or 9 on each side?
There'll be 18 per building, yes. Just to give you context of the existing ones,
Right. So it's just
so there'll be down.
garages for any homeowner that wants to put their car inside rather than parking
That is
outside.
correct, yep. With the intent of hopefully getting this year still, we have received building department approval pending zoning.
But that's all it's for, is parking,
Yes, sir.
storage, no other,
Yeah, parking.
okay.
Maybe might take 1.5 golf cart in there,
Right.
it would take people around.
It's just so long as we're not selling carpet out of it, right?
Yeah. No fun.
Very-
Motion that we approve the construction of an additional garage.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the garages as presented this evening. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce Diffenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bradco.
Yes.
Ed Shooting.
Yes.
Clayton Popick.
Yes.
You all
Thank you
set?
very much.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
You as well.
Take care, everyone.
Okay. Our next is a zoning variance application, Andrew James Evans and Megan Evans, the owners. The applicant is requesting a variance for a 6-foot privacy fence in the front yard. Zoning resolution section 51006G1, no fence, wall, hedge, and berm or any combination shall exceed 4 feet 6 inches in height above the finished grade of a front yard. Okay, you want to tell us what it is and why?
We have 2 small children.
Okay,
That's technically our side yard. Our driveway goes onto Buckeye Boulevard, and technically our house is zoned, and we have 2 front yards apparently, but there's a front yard on Sandy Lake Road as well as the one in our actual driveway on Stevie. So our side yard is where most of our yard is, and the 2 little kids, and we just kind of wanted to put the fence there, so it would give them a little bit more room to play, so we can kick balls and stuff, and not really items around Sandy Lake Road. The fence lines up with our pine trees that are in our yard, which is about 40 feet off of the center line of Sandy Lake Road. Our neighbors that live straight across Buckeye Boulevard have one in the exact same spot as we're asking for. And I understand that might be worried that it would impede the view of traffic on Sandy Lake Road when we're pulling out. We don't technically have a center line in the center of our road, so I measured from the side of the road to where the fence will be, it's 70 feet away.
okay.
But it's mostly just for the kids, not to run on traffic, and us have a little bit of privacy in our backyard, because everybody can see our back patio driving on San Diego Road.
So you won't be able to see through any part of the fence. We also have an opacity regulation as well as height.
There is no opacity too.
So we're gonna need a variance for that.
Yeah, technically we should, yeah.
Can we tack it on this one?
We could tack it on
Three
this
o'clock.
one.
Just on the vinyl, it's like a tan vinyl.
Yeah, you could tack it on this one.
Okay. Well, primarily it's for what you're saying. When you pull out onto the road, you need to be able to see through a fence if the fence comes up to that close to the road. But yours is not gonna be, yours is gonna be 70 feet away from the edge of the road.
Which is the edge of the road from, yes, no, that's.
As long as they don't widen it, we're good.
We're gonna do that this weekend, and just fix the sidewalk. So.
I'm Bill Anderson, I'm the president of the Butternut Ridge HOA. I've talked to them several times about the location of the fence, where it goes, trying to understand. 2 front yards.
It's a corner lot.
Yeah, on a corner lot, 2 front yards, and their fence is gonna dead into the back end side of the back end side, front of the garage. And I've looked at where it's going to be, I pulled my vehicle up there, and it's not a line of sight issue. But in our opinion, we think it will be a good safety factor to keep their young one safe from Sandy Lake Road. Speed limit through there's 45, but nobody pays attention to that. It's more like 60. So I think it's a good thing for protection. The neighbor across the street from them did the exact same thing for the exact same reason. Kind of keep their kids contained so they don't chase an errant ball, or in their case, a errant ball. So,
So this would be the reason for the extra 1.5 feet.
Kids get balls.
they'll chip over that.
So the front of the house on the, across the street, the fence runs into like the back of the house?
Yes,
Is
it
that
goes
correct?
right into the back.
Yours is gonna go all the way down, or where's yours gonna go?
No, ours is just going to go picture in picture.
Go ahead.
So our house is which?
This one?
Yes, so that will go right to here.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so yours is gonna do the same thing.
Yes, just
That
in the
way-
back of our garage.
Gotcha. So there won't be a line of sight issue at all?
And we had no objections from any of the neighbors that we know of?
We didn't get any correspondence.
Okay. And it's just gonna be a plain fence, no, you're not putting lights on top or anything?
We have that.
No, damn.
Believe me, we
Oh, it's like, so plain, like, tannish vinyl.
Is it gonna be like finished on both sides, or
Yes.
is like the ugly side gonna face the street?
No, it's just vinyl on both sides.
Okay.
No unstained wood usually.
You said it's a 6-foot fence.
And all of it's gonna be maintained on your property, you'll be able to take care of the
Both sides.
grounds around both sides, so forth, okay. Do we have any other questions from the board? So your practical difficulty would be the fact that it's a corner lot and it's your side yard.
Yes, I was under the impression that the front yard was the blackout yard.
Two front yards.
Right, we can't change your front yard or your side yard either, so. Well, for the variance, we just need to have a reason.
I cannot change my front yard.
Right. And the purpose of the privacy fence as opposed to something you can see through?
Yes, it's because it's all contained and it's not opaque at all.
Right,
It's a solid fence, so.
Just add some privacy.
Yes,
for us.
our back patio is right back there, and anybody driving down St. Louis Road can just look right at
right. So just for personal privacy. Okay. Any other questions? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance for the 6-foot fence.
So we need to mention,
And the
And the
Go past it.
the opacity.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the 6-foot above grade fence with being a privacy fence with the opacity issue. So have a roll call vote, please.
Bruce Diffenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bardacco.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
yes.
Clayton Popick.
Yes.
Okay. You're good. You're more than welcome to hang around or take off.
It gets good from here on out.
Yeah.
See you later, thank you.
So our next one is a variance application, John Coner. And variance request is applicant is requesting a 7-foot variance for the rear yard setback, zoning resolution section 30503 F-F. Minimum rear yard depth should be 25 feet. So tell us what it is and why you want it.
Well, because the homeowner just wants to have a deck up off the ground to, do whatever they want to. Have a party picnic or whatever in the backyard, to be up off the grass and out their back door slider.
So this is a kind of unique situation. So he came to me this evening, and the back measurement he's got is 18 foot going off the back. And we were able to find some information from the build, and it's actually 35 foot. So I'm like, oh, you don't need a variance. We're just going to wipe you off the list. Then if you look at the topo, the original topo, there's 2 setback lines. One is a 25-foot do not disturb in the back, and then they gave him a 40-foot, which is not in the code. So he technically doesn't need a variance. He technically, with this new information, you need to revise the agenda as a conditional use, because you guys approved this subdivision as a conditional use. And if there was a setback of 40 at the time that this was granted, he would be encroaching that by 7 foot and not the setback. So you need a conditional use to just allow him to do this instead.
So we're not really doing a variance, we're doing.
Or we could technically, the other way we could word it is we could say a 7-foot variance to the 40-foot setback that's on his topo, which we have no idea where that came from, and that's a mistake by the engineer or what, but I've never heard of a 40-foot building setback in the rear. That's the first one. Unless there's something back there that I'm not aware of.
Was it easement or something?
It doesn't show an easement on the drawing. But he does technically, for the R3 zoning and for the Cranberry Creek subdivision, he meets the setback requirements for the subdivision. But for some reason on his topo, it shows 2 of them, one at a 25 and one at a 40, which is super bizarre.
So basically approve both just to be safe.
Yeah, there you go.
Well-oiled machine.
Yeah, I say if you just grant a variance for 7 foot, you're safe.
Just to be safe, and then we're gonna give them a permit at the same time.
We need to amend the agenda.
To include a conditional use.
Yeah, to include a
Yeah.
condition.
That way we're covered both ways.
So we didn't do that for the opacity.
No, but you know what? It had the code section in there, so we're good. It had 510, and that's what I just looked up. It had 510.06G, so that covers 1 and 2, so we're good.
Got it. Okay, so we need so.
I make a motion that we
amend
the agenda on, I guess I should do there is no application number. What is this? The applicant, John Connor, from a
40-foot building setback shown on this.
to a conditional use permit.
Yep, to allow for 35.
Allow for 35.
Okay, one more time.
Got that. What he
Yeah,
said.
that's what I said.
I got 40-foot building setback to a conditional use.
The topo's so old, we can't go back to the engineer now that it's like,
We're changing this from a variance to a conditional use.
because he meets setbacks.
Okay, so we have a motion, do we have a second?
That way it's something in writing in case somebody questions it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to amend the application to include the conditional use for the deck. Please have roll call.
Bruce Diffenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bardacco,
Yes.
Ed Shooty,
Yes.
Clayton Poppins.
Yes.
Okay.
That was.
So
as
this is
clear as
just
mud.
gonna be a plain, it's just be a plain old deck, no spotlights on it,
No, no spotlights, nothing like that, just a wood, it's just a wood deck, treated deck.
Attached to the house or
It's
unattached?
gonna be attached to the house,
Attached to the house.
standard treated deck. It's only 16 inches off the ground, so not, you know,
Simple.
yeah, pretty simple.
Okay. Do we have any other questions from the board about the deck or?
This one's on. I did the hard work, you got this one. Or you got it.
I'll make a motion, we approve the 7-foot conditional use and the variance. I make a motion, we approve the conditional use of the deck with a 7-foot variance.
Okay.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use to put the deck in and the variance if needed for the 7-foot. Roll call, please.
Bruce Diffenberg,
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Bardacco,
Yes.
Ed Shooty,
Yes.
Clayton Poppins.
Yes.
Okay, you're good?
Okay.
Everybody, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Take care.
All right. So the next we have is a variance for Greg and Mary Jane Huth? Sorry. Applicant is requesting a variance to operate a roadside vegetable stand in the front yard area, zoning resolution 510-03A4. It shall not be located in the front yard of the lot. Okay, tell us about it and why.
All right, several years ago, probably 10, 15 years ago, we started a little stand. At the time, we got the approval to put up basically what it is 4 posts and a roof. We started a little hobby farm, called it a hobby farm. Things are changing a little bit. I'm gonna be facing probably retirement in a couple of years, and I'd like to upgrade it a little bit. So the stand that we have now is 10 by 10. The one that we're proposing is 12 by 9, so it's just a tad bigger. But, no lights, nothing fancy, just basically 4 posts, walls, and a little better this time.
No power.
Then we grow everything that we sell, we don't bring anything in, so it's not really.
And how much land do you have?
We have 2.905,
This is the existing stand?
that's the one we built.
The new one, okay.
The one that we have now is just 4 4x4s on the corner and the fiberglass roof. Pretty much like what you need.
Is this, there isn't gonna be a foundation with this, it's just not, it's, so you can literally move it if you need to.
Yes.
So everything that you're going to sell will be out of the shed, basically, out of the stand? You're not gonna throw pumpkins out in front of it?
No.
Saw that.
No lights or
No.
signage, any kind of.
Well, we have a yellow portable sign now that we use 4x4, one of those yellow signs. that we deliver.
Whole operation's portable, that's great.
And so right now, your current stand is there. You're just gonna take it out and replace it with this one.
Just a mess of approved that way back.
That was probably 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
One more time, we had 5 acres, we sold 2 acres off.
That's the
And
difference.
now-
So if you have 5 acres, you could have the fruit stand without coming to the BZA,
Right.
you could approve it in-house. But now that they're less than 5 acres, it has to comply with accessory buildings, which is not allowed in the front yard.
And so basically their difficulty is fruit stand in the backyard didn't do them much good.
Not very visible in the backyard. That's more vegetables than fruit.
So, but as it is, it doesn't have walls. It won't obstruct any view coming out of the driveway.
It's, I believe 25 feet off the road.
Okay. Where do people park to, I mean, do they actually pull in your drive or do they?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
We have a double wide driveway.
Okay. So they're not like pulling over to the side of the road, jumping out?
If they do that, we call them pulling.
Okay. And it's just going to be daylight hours operation, since there'll be no electricity kind of thing.
Or so not to the six.
This time of year, you just want to get some thick white coats.
All right. Do we have any other questions from the board? Any concerns from zoning?
No.
All right, we have a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the variance for the new fruit stand, vegetable stand.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the location of the new vegetable stand. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce Dippenberg.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Vince Braddock.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Papick.
Yes.
Okay, you're all set. Thank you.
Thank you all. Good luck.
Come to a screeching halt because I can't find my agenda. I know,
Do we need?
not when it's on paper. I get told when they gave it to me, I don't buy anything.
Yeah.
Well, you already said there was no electricity, but I guess it could be like a battery or something, right? All right, so we have a conditional use application. Joe Rapace?
We're close now.
Okay, close enough. Conditional use request, applicant is requesting conditional use. Approval to build an addition onto an existing home within the LI district. Zoning resolution section 52006A, non-conforming use of a building, structure, or land shall not be changed or substituted to another non-conforming use unless the Board of Zoning Appeals decides that the proposed non-conforming use is less conflict with the character and use of the applicable zoning district than the existing non-conforming use. In permitting such change, the Board of Zoning Appeals may require appropriate conditions and safeguards in accordance with other provisions of this resolution.
I didn't bring it.
I don't know how you did it.
I probably actually had something to do with it.
We have residents and a line of residences, all nice brick homes. Put a little addition on. And I was informed that we're in a we're zoned for light industrial. And it's residents. I don't know how we got zoned light industrial, but I need to put an addition on.
And we're, as you know, we're going through the zoning code, anything that we're changing, but it's taking,
Right,
we got tons and tons of changes, so this isn't the only spot, but yeah.
And it's gonna look like the other part of the house, the addition.
Oh, it's gonna be a nice addition, it's done, Rick.
Is it connecting to the house?
Yes.
It's on the back.
It's on the back side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a really nice addition, it's just that I can't approve it.
But we're not zoned residential.
Right, so
so the new addition won't alter any of our setbacks? Or
no,
setback from anything?
everything looks good.
Everything looks good? Okay. And it's, so it's just going to be for residential use?
Yeah.
Or are we going,
My problem is now that it's zoned light industrial, what if my neighbor's house told me to put a Dunkin' Donuts here? It's
Well,
residents, it's not supposed to.
We're gonna change the zoning back back to.
I was gonna
residential.
say, or even worse, if some tragedy happened and more than half the building was destroyed, you can't rebuild it.
Yeah, it would be
So we need to work on it. I mean, we're working on it with regional now. We're working on 3 other areas. But it's like a 6 to 8 month process every time we do a zoning change. And we can't take like the whole town on, but we've got some real crazy stuff. We got our most heavy, dense areas in open space conservation. So we're changing those first. Yeah. But yeah, that's.
So
Real
this,
problem is my daughter has 5 kids. So I could be the addition.
You need a job.
My daughter.
Well, that's good, keeping all costs.
Yeah, my whole family lives in the same room.
where is Sunnybrook?
Yeah.
It's in the section with all residential homes, it's surrounded by homes. And then further down the street, Joe owns the golf course over there, and then he owns Sunnybrook Concrete, which is in the industrial part of it, across from the golf course, and up, just past Esprit.
Okay.
And you have the party center with the.
Yeah. We picked up about 500 acres in that little country. I got 8 houses, 8 pieces of property.
Then we'll get them zoned right too, Joe.
And if I buy a couple more, we won't have to worry about the zoning change. It's not really done.
Guess we don't need to worry about safeguards, huh? Non-conforming uses, less conflict, character uses. I mean, right now it's residential anyway.
It's residential staying, but it's going from a residential use to a residential use.
Right.
Because he's doing the addition, so it triggers it.
Right. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the addition of room to the existing home.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use application. Roll call, please.
Bruce Stippenberg.
Yes.
Scott Atling.
Yes.
Vince Baraco.
Yes.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Topic.
Yes.
Thanks, Joe. You said you come in tomorrow, should give it to you, and you can get your bag. Thank you.
There'll be lights on.
As long as they don't shine on the street. Okay. Okay, anything for the good of the order?
No, not unless you have questions.
What's that?
Not unless you have questions. Yeah, we have a lot of good stuff going on. So. Chase Bank will be next,
That's gonna be over there.
Meyer gas station.
Do we get our Chick-fil-A?
That one was on that lot.
That was what?
That was actually proposed on a lot Chase Bank's going on. It was not big enough.
We're getting a Chase Bank instead.
Great.
I talked to Bob V out there.
He told you. Yeah.
Well, he told me that, but he told me, I said, why don't you put a Chick-fil-A on the other side? He says, he started laughing, he said, love to do it.
1 acre wasn't big enough for him.
Do we have anything going in next to the Aldi's yet, or is all those still
That could
active?
possibly be a Chick-fil-A now. They didn't want that. You gotta give 2 lots though, which is fine.
You've got what, nine spots to fill there? or something?
They're gonna
Go
need
fast.
2 acres. They're gonna need them, yeah.
It's.
They cut that down, man. That line goes fast.
Yeah,
They
they're
do.
long, but they are
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah, they are really good.
And my order is
Right.
never wrong.
No, I didn't.
No, that's good.
Do we have anything for next month?
Yes, 3 already.
3. So we're looking at November 16th. Okay. Anything else from the board?
Rico's looks good.
What's that?
The old Rico's looks good.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job.
They are.
That's a
He's
good.
tired. He's real tired, he's with. He says it's the last time he's ever gonna wear his tool belt.
Okay, we looking for,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
you're not
second.
allowed to make the motion if you're going to vote no.
What?
Vote right or vote no.
So we have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Bruce Superbird.
Yes.
Scott Etling.
Yes.
Rich Bradacco.
Yeah.
Ed Shooty.
Yes.
Clayton Pavic.
Yes.
Adjourn.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
How are you guys feeling about your